Hello students, greetings of the day. So this is the continuation of our first unit, Advent of the Europeans. Okay. So in our last class we have saw about the sources of modern India. Okay. So we are having different sources, that is we are having the written sources and the material sources. Okay. So then we have saw about the archives. So what is meant by archives? So archives is a place where the historical documents are preserved. So archives is a place where the historical documents are preserved. Okay. So the National Archives of India is located in New Delhi. Then next one we have saw about the Tamil Nadu Archives. So this Tamil Nadu Archives is located in Chennai and it is one of the oldest document repositories in South India. Okay. Then after that we had started about the advent of the Europeans. Okay. So first one Portugal. Okay. So Portugal is the first one to discover trade route, sea route into India. Okay. So then we have saw about the Portuguese settlements, French settlements, Dutch settlements, Danish and also the English settlements in India. Okay. So Vasco da Gama is the first Portuguese sailor who discovered sea route to India. Okay. So Vasco da Gama, he is the first Portuguese sailor to discover sea route to India. Okay. So then this Francisco de Albuquerque, he is the real founder of the Portuguese power in India. Alfonso de Albuquerque, he is the real founder of the Portuguese power in India. Okay. In today's class we are going to see about the Dutch. Okay. So in today's session we are going to see about the Dutch, British, Danish and the French in India. Okay. So Dutch. So who are the Dutch? The people of Netherlands was known as Dutch. Okay. So after the Dutch they followed the Portuguese and they came to India. In 1602 the United East India Company of Netherlands was formed and it received the sanction of their government to trade in India. Okay. So in 1602 the United East India Company of Netherlands was formed and this company they got the sanction, that they got the permission to trade with India with their government. Okay. Then after they arrived to India, the Dutch they founded their first factory in Masulipatam. Okay. So Masulipatam it is in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So the Dutch they formed their first factory in Masulipatam in 1605. So after that this Dutch East India Company they captured the Amboyana from the Portuguese. Okay, they captured Amboyana from Portuguese and they also established their supremacy in Spice Island. Okay, then they also captured Nagapattinam near Madras from the Portuguese. Okay, so they also captured Nagapattinam from Portuguese and this is the place as they hold strong in South India. Okay. So at first Pulicat is the headquarters of the Dutch. So at first Pulicat is located near Chennai. Okay. So Pulicat is the first headquarters of Dutch. Then later it was shifted from Pulicat to Nagapattinam in 1960. Okay. So the most important Indian commodities traded by the Dutch were silk, cotton, indigo, rice and opium. Okay. Do you know what is meant by indigo? So indigo is a plant which is used to make dye. Okay. Indigo is a plant which is used to make dye which is blue in color. Okay. And do you know what is meant by opium? The opium is a drug. Okay. So the most important Indian commodities traded by the Dutch were silk, cotton, indigo, rice and opium. Okay. So this Dutch they monopolized, they have the right to trade the black pepper and the other spices. Okay. The Dutch has the right, they got the right to trade the black pepper and other spices. The most important factories in India were Pulicat, Surat, Chinsura, Kazim Bazar, Patna, Nagapattinam, Balasore and Cochin. Okay. So what are the important factories of Dutch in India? Pulicat, Surat, Chinsura, Kazim Bazar, Patna, Nagapattinam, Balasore and Cochin. Okay. Then the English East India Company remained engaged in rivalry with the Portuguese and the Dutch. Okay, so the English East India Company, they had the fight with the Portuguese and also with the Dutch throughout 17th century. In 1623, the Dutch cruelly killed 10 English traders and 9 Javanese in Amboyana. So in 1623, the Dutch, what they did? They cruelly killed English traders and 10 English traders and 9 Japanese in Amboyana. Okay, this incident, it made more rivalry between the two European companies. Okay, so therefore it leads to the final collapse. It came with the defeat by the English in the Battle of Beira in 1759. The English, they defeated Dutch in the Battle of Beira in the year 1759. Okay, so the Dutch, they lost their settlements one by one to the English, and they were completely moved out of the India by the year 1795. Okay, next one, Dutch in Tamil Nadu. The Portuguese, who established a control over Pulicat since 1502, were overthrown by the Dutch. Okay, so already this Pulicat was controlled by Portuguese. Okay, so after the arrival of the Dutch, they overthrow the Portuguese from the power. Okay, in Pulicat, the Dutch built their fort Gelria in 1613. Okay, so in Pulicat, the Dutch, they built their fort Gelria in 1613. So this fort was once the seat of the Dutch power. So this fort is the important seat of the Dutch power in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so you can see the picture of the fort Gelria. Okay, so the Dutch established their settlement at Pulicat in 1610. Okay, the Dutch, they established their settlements at Pulicat in 1610. Then the diamonds were exported from Pulicat to the western countries. The Dutch, they exported diamond from Pulicat to the western countries. Okay, then the other Dutch colonial forts and positions were Nagapattinam, Punakayal, Protonovo, Kadalur and Devambattinam. So what are the other colony forts and positions of the Dutch? Nagapattinam, Punakayal, Protonovo, Kadalur and Devambattinam. Okay, so next one, we are going to see about the British in India. On 31st December 1600, Elizabeth, the Queen of England, granted a charter to the Governor and the Company of Merchants of London to trade with East Indies. On December 31st, 1600, Queen Elizabeth of England, she gave the permission to the East India Company, that is the Company of Merchants of London, to trade with the East Indies. Okay, then the company was headed by a governor and a court of 24 directors. This English East India Company was headed by a governor and a court of 24 directors. Okay, Captain Hawkins visited Jahangir's court in 1608 to get certain concessions for the company. Certain concession means some privileges to the company. Okay, so Captain William Hawkins, he visited the court of Emperor Jahangir to get concessions for the company. Then he secured permission to raise a settlement at Surat. Then he got the permission to raise the British settlement at Surat. Okay, however, the emperor cancelled the permission under the pressure from Portuguese. Because already the Portuguese, they were in India. Okay, so due to the rivalry between the English and the Portuguese, they put a pressure to the emperor to cancel the permission which was given to the British. So the emperor, he cancelled the permission under the pressure of the Portuguese to British. Okay, then in 1612, the English captain Thomas Best inflicted a severe defeat over the Portuguese in the naval battle near Surat. Okay, so in 1612, Captain Thomas, he defeated the Portuguese in the battle of in a naval battle near Surat. Okay, then the Mughal Emperor Jahangir permitted the English to establish their factory in Surat in 1613. Okay, so after the defeat of Portuguese with the British, Emperor Jahangir permitted the English to establish their factory at Surat in the year 1613. Okay, so initially this Surat was the headquarters of the English in West India. Okay. Captain Nicholas Daunton won another decisive victory over the Portuguese in 1614. Okay, so after that Captain Nicholas Daunton, he defeated the Portuguese in 1614. Okay, so these events made the British to have an high prestige at the Mughal court. Okay, then in 1615, Sir Thomas Roy, who was sent to Jahangir's court by King James I of England. Okay, then what King Sir Thomas Roy, okay, so he was the person who was sent to the court of Jahangir by King James I of England. Okay, he remained at Agra for 3 years and succeeded in concluding a commercial treaty with the emperor. So this Thomas Roy, he remained in the court of Jahangir for 3 years and they had an commercial treaty, that is commercial agreement between the British and the emperor. Okay, so before the departure of the Sir Thomas Roy, the English had established their trading centers at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Braj. Okay, so before Sir Thomas Roy leave India, the English had established their trading centers at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Braj. Okay, so you can see these places in the India map which was given in this lesson. Okay, on the coastline of Bay of Bengal, the English established their first factory in 1611 at Masulipattnam. Okay, so on the coastline of Bay of Bengal, okay, the English, they established their first factory in 1611 at Masulipattnam. Okay, so this is an important port in the territory of the kingdom of Golconda. This Masulipattnam is an important port in the kingdom of Golconda. Okay, then in 1639, the English merchant Francis Day obtained Madras as a lease from Chennappa Nayak, the ruler of Chandragiri. So in 1639, an English merchant, okay, so Francis Day, called Francis Day, he obtained the place Madras as a lease from Chennappa Nayaka. Okay, so this Chennappa Nayaka, he is the ruler of Chandragiri. Okay, then the East India Company built its famous factory known as Fort St. George in Madras, which became their headquarters for the whole of Eastern Belt. Okay, then after getting permission from the Chennappa Nayak, the East India Company, they built their factory that is known as Fort St. George in Madras. Okay, this Fort St. George, it became the headquarters of the whole of Eastern Belt and the first built fort by the British. This Fort St. George was the first British fort which was built in India. Okay, then King Charles II of England received the island of Bombay as a part of his dowry from the Portuguese king on the occasion of his marriage with Catherine. Okay, so the Charles II, he married the daughter of Portuguese king. Okay, so for the dowry, he got the place Bombay from the Portuguese king. Okay, then in 1668, the East India Company acquired the island at an annual rent of 10 pounds from Charles II. Okay, then in 1690, a factory was established at Sutanoti by Job Charnock. Okay, in 1690, a factory was established at Sutanoti by Job Charnock. Okay, the zamindari of the three villages of Sutanoti, Kalikata and Govindpur was acquired by the British in 1698. So these three zamindars were acquired by the British. Okay, then these villages, they later grow into a city of Calcutta. So these three villages, they later grow into a city of Calcutta. The factory of Sutanoti was fortified in 1696 and this new fortified settlement was named as Fort William in 1700. So this new settlement was known as Fort William in 1700. Then after the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the Battle of Buxar in 1764, the company became a political power. So after the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and Battle of Buxar in 1764, this English East India Company became a strong political power in India. Then India was under the East India Company's rule till 1858. After 1858, it came under the direct administration of the British Crown. So until 1858, the India was ruled by the merchants of the East India Company. India was under the East India Company rule. Then after 1858 only, India came under the direct administration of the British Crown, that is under Queen Victoria. Okay. Next one, Danish. On March 17, 1616, the King of Denmark, Christian IV, issued a charter and created a Danish East India Company. Okay, so the people of Denmark is known as Danish. Okay, on March 17, 1616, the King of Denmark, he gave permission to establish the Danish East India Company. Okay, they established their settlement in Tranquebar, that is in Tamil Nadu in 1620, and Serampur. Serampur it is in Bengal. Okay, they established their settlement in Tranquebar in 1620 and Serampur in 1676. Okay, so Serampur was their headquarters in India. The Serampur, it is located in Bengal. Okay, then this Danish, they failed to strengthen themselves in India and they sold all their settlements in India to the British in 1845 and they move away from India. Okay, next one, French. The French East India Company was formed in 1664. The English East India Company was formed in 1600 and the French East India Company was formed in 1664 by Colbert. Okay, so Colbert is a minister of King Louis XIV. Okay, in 1667, a French expedition came to India under Francois Coran. Okay, so France was the last European country to come India as a traders. Okay, so before France, the Portuguese, the Danish, the Dutch, the British, they came to India as traders. Okay, this France is the last European country to come to India as traders. Okay, then Caron founded the first French factory in India at Surat. This Caron, he founded the first French factory in India at Surat. In 1669, Markara founded the second French factory at Masulipatam by securing a patent from Sultan of Golconda. Then after Caron, this Markara, he founded the second French factory at Masulipatam. Okay. Then in 1673, the settlement of Pondicherry was founded by Martin Luther. Okay, in 1673, the settlement of Pondicherry was founded by Martin Luther under a grant under the permission from Sher Khan. Okay, Sher Khan Lodi of Bijapur. Pondicherry became the most important and prosperous French settlement in India. You have already know. Okay, so Pondicherry is the most important and prosperous French settlement in India. A fort known as St. Louis was built by Francois Martin in Pondicherry. So what was the fort which was built by the French? St. Louis. Okay, so it was built by Francois Martin in Pondicherry. Okay, then in 1673, the French obtained permission from Shaista Khan, the Mughal Subedar, that is the Mughal governor of Bengal, okay, to establish a township at Chandranagur near Calcutta. In 1673, the French, they got permission from the governor of Bengal, Shaista Khan, to establish a township at Chandranagur near Calcutta. Okay, then the French East India Company, they established their factories in different places in India. Okay, so particularly in the coastal regions such as Mahi, Karaikal, Balasore and Kazim Bazar. Okay, these were the few important trading centers of French East India Company. So what was the important trading centers of French East India Company: Mahi, Karaikal, Balsor and Kazim Bazar. Okay. The vision of the French power in India was further reinforced by the appointment of Joseph Francois Dupleix as the governor of French East India Company in 1742. He succeeded Dumas as the French governor of Pondicherry. So after the French power was extended more after the appointment of Joseph Francois Dupleix as the governor of French East India Company in 1742, and this Dupleix was succeeded by Dumas. Okay, so Dumas was the French governor of Pondicherry next to Dupleix. Okay, so students, have you understand about the Portuguese settlements, then Dutch, Danish, British and the French settlements in India? Okay, so conclusion. What's the conclusion of this lesson? Since the Portuguese were eliminated by the Dutch and the later extinguished by the English, the French were left to face the English for control over the trade and territory. The Dutch were already eliminated by the British from India. Then the French has to face the trade and territory with the English. Okay, the French neglected trade and they entangled themselves in war with India and the other European countries. The French, they concentrate more on the wars other than the trade. Okay, so they were in trade with the European countries. The three Carnatic wars ruined the French and they rejuvenated the English to embark a systematic territorial expansion. The three Carnatic wars, it destroyed the French. Okay, then the comparative success of the British over the Portuguese, Dutch and the Danish and the French was largely due to their commercial competitiveness, spirit of supreme sacrifice, government support, naval superiority, national character and their ascendancy in Europe. How this English, they sent out all that is Dutch, Danish, Portuguese and the French out of India by their commercial competitiveness and their spirit of supreme sacrifice and the support which was given by their government and also by their naval superiority and their national character. Okay, students, have you all understood this lesson? Yes. Okay, so there is a recap for you, that is Anandarangam is a name to conjure with the annals of Tamil history. Then the Madras Record Office known as Tamil Nadu Archives is located in Chennai. Okay, Prince Henry of Portugal is commonly known as the Navigator. The Blue Water Policy was followed by Almeida. Okay, the Mughal Emperor Jahangir permitted the English East India Company to establish their factory in 1613 at Surat. The French East India Company was formed in 1664 by Colbert. Okay, then Pondicherry became the most important and prosperous French settlement in India. Student, have you all understood this lesson? Okay, your today's assignment is you have to read this lesson from first to the end. Okay, you have to read it once and you have to answer the choose it, fill in the blanks, match it, true or false and find out the correct statement. Okay, you have to answer these questions by your own. Okay, this is your assignment today. Okay, thank you students, thank you all.